People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, sadly, Mattéo Guendouzi and our former Gooner and Jeffrey Adelaide are now out of the under-21s tournament in the semi-finals. France gave a good account of themselves, but ultimately they lost 4-1 against Spain. On one hand, I think Spain deserved the scoreline and things. On the other hand, I think if you watch the game, it's a lesson for these young players, specifically game management, because Kanate, I'm sorry, a defender I really want. He showed that he's got issues with positioning and timing, when to dive in and when to not. On top of that, he conceded a penalty. Firpo, very good going forward, as you know, but he's a bit raw defensively. Silly penalty after a good mazy run from Jeffrey Adelaide. I think, in all, Spain's experience showed anytime they were on the counter attack, they looked on fire. Oyarzabal, I can never say his name correctly, the winger that plays for Real Sociedad, he shouldn't have been on the pitch in my opinion. I feel whatever minute it was, he nasty, just one nasty challenge on down the back of Guendouzi. It was quite high, and he's lucky in my opinion to stay on the field. And then it must be a bitter pill to swallow for France after he's done that, and then he set up a corner, and I think he scored a penalty. He might even have had 2 assists, but I definitely remember 1 goal, 1 assist. But I feel prior to the beginning of the end is probably when Spain scored the equaliser. But I feel prior to that first 10 minutes, I think France did all right, man. I think when Dozy was picking up in a couple tight positions, as you see, was playing some nice passes. Like you see, he likes to draw a lot of fouls. You saw, I think Fabian Ruiz in the first half got booked for fouling him. Or Oyarzabal, really nasty challenge. I can't remember if he got booked. I don't think he did, people. Really nasty challenge in my opinion, and he was lucky to get away with it. And I wouldn't say it looked like the most threatening of injuries, but I was fearing the worst for Guendouzi when everybody was running on the field. So it's lovely to see him going, getting up and carrying on, and I think he did all right. Obviously, all in all, France got bullied. They lost 4-1 essentially, man. I think the goal they conceded was a poor goal to concede. It came from a corner. Oyarzabal, the man I told you shouldn't even been on the pitch, put in the corner. It's poor keeping, and I think Rocker finishes it and makes it 1-1. Literally dying embers of the first half, people. Canute, similar to Firpo, he's not thinking, he concedes a silly penalty. Is literally added on time in the first 45 minutes, and this is what some of these young players need to learn, when to do certain things and to be sensible. But he concedes a penalty. Spain's score is 2-1 going into the break. One thing I will say as well, for 3-1, I must admit, I do see. I think Guendouzi had a part in it. I don't think he's the sole person to blame. I feel Guendouzi. I think he technically loses the ball in midfield, but I think a big part of that is the big part as to why they scored is Kanate, for no reason. He's stepping up and he gets caught out. I can't remember either he tried to tackle or he tried to step out with it. It didn't bang in it. I think he tried to dive in. He's caught out of position, cut relatively high up the field. Lovely counter attack from Spain. They make it count. You can see the obvious gaps in the defence because he's not there. I do think Guendouzi had a part to play because before the ball went to Kanate, and all that stuff happened, Guendouzi was in possession. Is that Spain won some lovely counter attacks, and I believe Almo was the last person to finish that. I think the counter attack Spain did yesterday, there was even one to make it. They could have made it 5-1 at the end. Lovely counter attack inside, and if they wasn't favourites to win it already, they are, man. I think Germany have a good squad, and it's going to be a big test. I think you can see when you look at the Spain squad, you look at Firpo, you look at even if he plays Mer, Vallejo, obviously Ceballos, who's had a good tournament, Oyarzabal, Fabian Ruiz, if I haven't said it already, Morayal, the experience, you can see the experience. Obviously, France have some relatively experienced internationals in their side. I think Jeff did all right. Jeff actually earned the penalty from Firpo, Mazy run. They got good players, but I feel you just see the experience and that these players have been playing for a while, because I think Spain played some lovely football. I think it's more game management. Apologies, people. It's more game management for me than anything with France, because when you look at the second and the third goals, that set the tone, people. How quickly they came. One at the stroke of half time, one quickly after the restart in the second half. That gives you an impossible job. If you consider the goal that equalised for Spain, it really shouldn't have happened. I don't want to blame the keeper, but it did come from a corner. So maybe France weren't necessarily doing the best defensively that led to that corner. The keeper spills it, it's 1-1. Fourth goal, it was just a stupid goal to concede, and it's just salt in the wounds, really and truly, people. So while I don't feel France were that bad and deserved the 4-1, at the same time you lost 4-1, you could see that some of them towards the end were kind of getting bullied in midfield and Spain were just running rings, man. I think Guendouzi did alright. He got 90 minutes. It's his second start and things like that. It's obviously the tournament's over. We need Guendouzi to go back and just have a rest, people, really and truly, because similar to Torreira, regardless of your opinions on Guendouzi, played an awful amount of football. In his first season at Arsenal, considering where he's come from. He's still a young man. I think he needs to recharge mentally more than anything, because obviously what comes with that is the battle for consistency, the energy levels required to play at that level, the criticisms and all these things. I'm a big fan of footballers needing a couple seconds to just recharge themselves mentally, and I think he needs to go and do that before he comes back into pre-season. But he's had not obviously he would have loved to have started and things like that. He's made 3-4 appearances. I can remember 3 came on 72nd minute against someone, and he's got 2 starts. So it is what it is. I think Jeffrey Nayad, he don't play for us anymore. He's had a good tournament. He's been getting assists and things like that. He obviously had a hand in the penalty. I think he's enhanced his reputation. If scouts don't go for him now, he's someone they're gonna watch under the watchful eye a bit more over the next season or so. But it is what it is, man. Mattéo Guendouzi just wanted to go away, have a little rest, come back in time for pre-season and have a better next season, to be fair with you. Because, yeah, man, if we're going to have any chance to get top 4, players need to start pulling it out, essentially. That's all it comes down to, really and truly. There's not much more to say on that front, people. On that note, I'm going to keep it moving. People, Deluded, thank you for always watching and rocking. I'm out.